Hello stamping friends. Today I want to show you how to make this cute, easy card. My name is Sharon Armstrong. I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 16 years. I absolutely love teaching people how to make quick, easy, fun cards. Okay, let's get started. The first thing I did was I ran a piece of Whisper White cardstock through the chevron embossing folder. And this piece of paper was 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and it just gives a beautiful, deep, rich, embossed image. So I'm going to set that aside. The next thing I did was cut a piece of crisp cantaloupe, 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches. I have a piece of designer series paper that is just fun. This is actually from the celebration packet that you can choose if you spend $50 or more before the end of March 2014. I've cut this piece 3 3/4 inches by 2 1/2 inches. And then of course we have our card base. I love to use Whisper White or Very Vanilla as my base because it's just easier to write my message on inside. I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half. You could use our Simply Score scoring tool. However, for videos, I've just found it kind of cumbersome, so I go ahead and use a bone folder. Go ahead and give that a good crease. And I want to use some snail on the back of my crisp cantaloupe. You don't need to use a whole lot, but we want to use enough to where our card will not fall apart. One of my pet peeves, I don't like for cards to fall apart. I'm going to go ahead and mount that on my Whisper White base. Then I'm going to take my embossed piece and I'm going to use some liquid Tombow. This is our multi-purpose adhesive. I love using it on the embossed pieces because it gets all down in those grooves and then you don't have to worry about that card falling apart. As you know, one of my pet peeves. Go ahead and put that around. I'm going to layer this up on the top part. I could have cut a whole piece the size of my crisp cantaloupe, but that was kind of a waste of paper. Oh, there's that sticky adhesive again. Whenever you have liquid glue on your fingers, grab some hand sanitizer, and that just helps take off that sticky, tacky feel so that you can continue working on your project. When you're all done, then you can go wash your hands. Because I'm going to be attaching my designer series paper again to my textured piece, I'm going to go ahead and use some more liquid Tombow. Layer that down there. Give that a good press. Make sure you put the cap on. And I like storing mine in a container so where it's always ready for me to use. Okay, so now we're going to make our little bookmark looking tag. I'm going to use the punch from Stampin' Up! That's the scallop punch. My piece of cardstock is just a hair under 2 inches. I'm going to slide that in, give that a good punch, and now I have a fun scallop top that I can use for my card. The next punch I'm going to use is this punch, the little scalloped border punch. And for my bookmark, I'm going to go ahead and just punch that. I don't need very much. I just need the same size as my piece, and it just so happens that this punch is almost that size. So I'm going to go ahead and use my snips, cut that off. Okay. All right, for the bottom part, I wanted to give this a little fringy look, so I'm going to be using the Stampin' Up! Fringe scissors. The best way to use these scissors is to begin cutting down here in the V. Don't use the tip. Go ahead and just give that a little. I don't have to worry about it being a certain height because my ribbon, my piece of ribbon paper is actually going to cover that. I'm going to use some snail. And I'm just going to layer that right there. I just felt like that gave it a finished edge. Okay, so that's how that goes. I want to teach you a trick about using this stretchy ruffled ribbon from Stampin' Up. Sorry, I'm missing my little piece. It had an accident. The little trick I wanted to show you is to get some Scotch tape, put it on the end, pick up your piece, I'm going to layer that about right there, and see how it's kind of stretchy? I'm going to lay that around on the back side. I'm not going to let it go all the way down just yet. And then I'm going to take my, I call them ribbon scissors. They're not really ribbon scissors as far as Stampin' Up goes, but I think they should be called that. Go ahead and give that a cut. And then, holding my piece of Scotch tape, going to pull this around and attach it. That way, that springy ribbon doesn't come undone, and I still have it loose on the front because I want to slip my little tag inside. Okay, let's talk about my tag. I used our Chalk Talk framelits to cut out just this piece out of the Whisper White. So I have that piece. I'm using the stamp set called Another Great Year. I love this cute little stamp in there, and I actually loved all the stamps in there. You know, sometimes you buy a stamp set and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do with all these other pieces. I challenge you to find that out. I'm going to use the black StazOn because I'm going to be using my markers to color. Always make sure that you close the cap on your StazOn. I have a little glue dot up inside of there. You want to keep that plastic, if you can see that or not, there's a plastic lid that comes with your StazOn. You want to keep that, don't throw that away. It's almost like, I tell people it's like a Sharpie. You know, that last little click of the Sharpie will keep it from drying out, and that's kind of the same principle of that little clear lid. Okay, I'm using 3 markers to color Crisp Cantaloupe and Pool Party and Summer Starfruit. Sometimes that's a hard color for me to use, so I always try to challenge myself to do that. I'm going to be using the fatter tip and give this some color. Just coloring my candles. And then, by the way, you may know this already, but let me just tell you, when you're looking at the Stampin' Up markers, there's a skinny little line and a fat line. The fat line is the fatter brush tip, and then the skinnier line is the fine point end that you could use for like writing or coloring in small areas. Then I'm going to take our rhinestone jewels, love these, and using my snips, I'm going to go up underneath there and put them on as my candle flames. So fun. I always love bling. Can you tell? I'm blingy nails. Okay, let me get this last one. Whoops. And if you will put it on the end of the snip, then you can hold your finger there and it stays where you want it. How cute. I'm going to use a little bit of snail, whoops, on the back of my piece. Slide that right under there. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but I covered up the little hole. I didn't really need it for this card, so I went ahead and covered that up. And I'm noticing that I really want my green ribbon to come up a little bit. So, easy to do. Just kind of lift that up on the back. Slide it up a little bit. Just to kind of cover my edges. There, I like that better. I've already tied a bow using the thin black taffeta ribbon, and I'm going to attach that with a glue dot. Love glue dots. I'm going to use my snips again, lift up a glue dot, pop that right there, and then I'm going to attach my bow. All right. To attach my little bookmark piece, I'm going to use some dimensionals. Sticking my fingernail in there, releasing that backing. And ta-da, I'm done. I hope you enjoyed my card. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.